and welcome to 2015. This is Harriet Grayson, your host and producer of Community Culture Showcase. And our aim is to bring you information to my audience, which now, because of you two, is around the world, anytime, anywhere, to bring to you some interesting groups that you may not have heard of. Theater groups, we had some artists the other day. We're going to have singers and dancers, anybody who's out there, a small group who wants a little publicity and is in our community, so that our audience can get to know all of the arts and culture which we have in our wonderful, wonderful communities. And I'm very fortunate today to have back a guest that I had on probably more than a year ago, Camilla Ross, who is a Renaissance woman, I call her. She has been involved in many, many activities, all for the good of our community. And I think she's probably, for my perspective, best known for the Emerson Theater Collaborative, which is a local group out of Mystic. But she's also involved in a whole bunch of other community activities. So I'm going to let her, we were just talking about the last year, 2014's come and gone. And how was 2014 for you? I know we were talking about how it was for me, but in all of your many, many activities, how could you summarize 2014 as an artist and community activist here in our coastal communities?
2014 was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. We had so much fun as a company. I had so much fun as a person. Mm-hmm. I think we started off our 2014 with a play called Our Farther by David H. Greer. And it had to do with a young boy named Victor searching for his biological father. Mm. And we started out with actors that were local, and we got the privilege of having E. Roger Mitchell to play one of the major characters. E. Roger Mitchell was just in the film Selma.
Oh, okay.
That just came out. But it was an amazing process in 2014 because we took this one play and we developed it to fruition and to have its major production October of 2014. So we had this reading, which was wonderful, and the playwright went back and did some rewriting. And October came, and we did this production, but there was a whole process to that. And so we didn't end up having E. Roger Mitchell as the lead in the play, but who we did have was just as wonderful, Kirk Taylor. And we got him through Chapman Roberts out of New York City, and a great recommendation for the role. And Kirk Taylor had been in, I think it's The Last Dragon back in the 80s, and he's, a LA film actor, television actor. And he was in the Angriest Man in Brooklyn with the late Robin Williams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we had him on board,
Mm-hmm.
and the show was just phenomenal.
Right.
It was really phenomenal. A wonderful experience, and we took it to New York City for a couple of times in terms of readings, and so we're grateful for that piece of history at ETC. We had so much going on. Our summer program with the kids, The Best of What's Its Name, written by Bob Gautreaux, a comedian out of Emerson College, and being able to do that with the kids every summer for 6 weeks is really a wonderful thing.
And you're going to do that again this summer.
Yeah, we have a great lineup for this year, 2015. But for the 2014, we really honed in on the message of life and living in people and how important that is and the value of people.
Because I can put my 2 cents in it. This is your theater company, which is based originally out of the fact that people graduated from Emerson College, right?
Yeah, we are. I'm a graduate of Emerson, and one of our original founders was a graduate of Emerson, and our goal was to really keep innovative theater in this region and allowing our youth and diversity to come together and create that which we know has a message that everybody needs to hear. And so we've had a wonderful season last year. It was just phenomenal.
Yeah, and I can say that part of the message that I understand as an audience member and as someone who has had you on the show before is that it's just not just theater. It's theater that involves the community, that's part of the community, that actually has a message to give to the community just beyond the fact that you're a theater group. So I think
Right.
that's a very, very important thing, because you're much more than just theatrical performers. You are community activists. I mean, you see theater as a medium to present a message, and that's very important in a
Yes.
world of tremendous commercialization and materialism, that things like theater can have a real message that is important to us as human beings living in this community, in this country, in this world. So
Absolutely.
I applaud the activities that you guys do, because it's just beyond much more than just simply having a theatrical performance.
Absolutely. I mean, theater for social change is so important. We tend to neglect that which we do not understand. And so theater allows us that medium to come out and create a message that people can understand who are living in it every single day. If you're in the trenches down there and you're struggling, it's a way to find that medium and find that message that works for you as a person. And so Emerson is in its 7th year. Mm-hmm. I'm so excited. There's so much vibrancy with Emerson Theater Collaborative. We've been fortunate enough to have great community partners. Mm-hmm. And I cannot say enough thanks for the Community Foundation as a whole,
okay.
the Southeast Connecticut Women's Network, the Mystic Rotary, the state of Connecticut has come on board and supported our work, the Puffin Foundation, the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving. Our father really set the foundation for the work we're going to do in the future. Mm-hmm. Having a lot more male and female playwrights come in with messages that truly impact the human condition as a whole. Right. And I'm really proud of the work we've done for 7 years. Our children's programming, summer program, 6-week summer program, we're going into our 4th year with that, and the kids are amazing and they are vibrant, and they too have a message. And if we are not careful to listen to them and what they have to say.
And how old are the kids in the summer camp?
They range from ages 4 to 17.
Oh, okay, the entire school year, school age.
Yes,
kids, right.
Absolutely, and they are
yes.
some talented individuals.
Right, and where do you hold the camp?
We're in Mystic, and we work out of the First United Methodist Church on 23 Willow Street in Mystic. Right. And it's a great time. The kids come for 6 weeks, and they learn all areas of theater. Mm-hmm. And so for them, it's a way to help them learn how to communicate with one another, how to have confidence, all of those things that they need to grow in life. In skills, and those are wonderful things. Life skills is what I call them. Mm-hmm. And the parents are very active.
Right.
They come.
Any kid can come?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And how would a parent who's watching this, or even a teenager who's watching this, and is interested in being part of the summer program, how do we get in touch with you to let you even know that they're interested?
They can check out our website at www.emersontheatercollaborative.org.
Okay.
Or they can call me.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I love that one-to-one conversation. 860-705-9711. And
does a child have to commit to the 6 weeks?
We'd like them to, because it's a great experience. But we know that they have other things that they have to do. But we do a theater project, and so we'd love to have them there for 6 weeks, from the start to finish.
And when is it going to start?
This year it'll be June 9th, I believe. We're going to start, and we have 3 performances that are the 24th, 25th, and 26th of July, 2015.
Okay.
And the kids have a wonderful time. They really do.
Sure.
It's such a privilege to be able to do that for our kids in the community, because they have so much to offer.
Absolutely, and it's everything. It's acting, stage propping, costuming,
lighting,
settings, marketing,
costumes, marketing.
The whole thing.
And you know what's really great? We let our kids, we take them downtown Mystic, and we allow them to explore and have fun marketing the show for themselves. So they will sing, they will dance, they will do all those wonderful things, and going into businesses and having those conversations with the owners and things of that sort.
That's very cool.
So it allows them those communication skills that they're going to get, and they're not shy about it by any means.
Well, they wouldn't be in theater if they were shy, probably.
Well, no, some of them come and they're very shy, but by the time they leave us,
they got their self-confidence.
They find that confidence, and they start talking, and they start thinking, and all of these wonderful creative things that come out of them It's so beautiful, and the parents really see a difference.
The kids repeats so that they...
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
Yes.
that they probably would be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I am so thankful for them because they come back every year, and we get new ones because they tell their friends,
Tell
and
their
they're like
friends.
so excited.
Absolutely. How many kids can you actually accommodate?
We did 1 year 16.
Okay.
Yeah, we did 16 kids 1 year for one production, but we can do as high as 25.
Because maybe you'll come back here in July with your kids and we'll put on a little reading or something so that the whole world can get a look at your great kids.
They would love that.
I bet they would.
They would love to tell people about their show. Yeah.
So maybe we can have a little reading of that play or whatever project they have. Do you have already in mind what the project's going to be?
Yes, we do.
Do they know it?
They don't know it yet.
Okay, so we won't let
nope.
out the, no, secrets is still with us. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
good.
they are. I am so excited for them though this summer, and we have just an amazing season coming down the
up here in
pike.
2015. Yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah.
tell us a little bit about what's cooking for this year.
We have. We're going to start our season out with our annual Zora, Neale, Hurston reading.
Okay.
We do it every year. This will be the third year for us doing it, and.
Tell the audience who may not be familiar with this wonderful woman writer.
I say if it hadn't been for Alice Walker, she would have been lost.
Mm-hmm.
And Zora Neale Hurston really defined what women writers truly, personify. Her work is just amazing. Mm-hmm. And one of her famous works, "Their Eyes Were Watching God," is a tremendous piece of work that everyone should read. And it's part of the school curriculum that every student gets to read it. But I think for her, she really set down a foundation for women writers to come forward and speak their mind about what it is that their life encompasses about. And so I think for us as Emerson Theater Collaborative, doing this annual Zora Neale Hurston reading along with the family, which is really exciting. So we have Lucy Ann Hurston, is the niece of Zora Neale Hurston. She comes every year.
Oh, so this is really her real family.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes. So we all get together and read Zora Neale Hurston's works
Oh, okay.
as a community project. And last year we had Edward Hurston. He came and he played the harmonica. It was so wonderful. And the vibe in the place was just extraordinary. And so this year, I'm so excited to do it again this year. And we're hoping that the community comes out and supports this reading. It's an annual thing. And again, it's at the First United Methodist Church in Mystic.
Okay.
March 7th.
March 7th. Okay.
Yes, at 4 o'clock.
Okay, is that a Sunday afternoon?
It is a Saturday.
A Saturday afternoon, so
Yes.
that's a good time to come.
Yes, absolutely.
To the Mystic, to the churches again.
It's the First United Methodist Church.
First United Methodist Church in Mystic.
Yes, that's where the Emerson Theater Collaborative hangs its hat.
Okay.
That's where we do our performances, and we're so thankful for them because they open their doors for us.
That's wonderful. Sure, that's
know.
part of being part of the community.
Absolutely.
Is having that as a resource for your performances.
Absolutely. They have been very supportive of our work and what we do, and they're very supportive of the message in which we put out, really helping our community to stay vibrant and to help each other.
Oh, okay.
Because we cannot do this by ourselves.
No, that's true.
We need to
Absolutely.
collaborate. We need to have empathy. We need to have more understanding between businesses and community and being able to help one another.
Oh, yes.
Because we can't exist without each other.
And I always say this, culture, the theater, the arts provide to the community something really, really important. I mean, it isn't just day-to-day kinds of things. You need to enrich your lives, and you enrich your lives with the fact that you include in your life all of the arts.
Absolutely.
And especially the arts with the messages that theater can be used for all kinds of things.
Yeah, it's transpiring, it's changing, it's tranquility, it's therapeutic, it's all of those things that keep us thinking and listening and hearing.
As we had on one of your colleagues and someone who you know, we had on the power of Purple.
Power of Purple, yes, absolutely.
Yes. And we were interested because it's Safe Futures, which is really an organization that works with women who have been battered.
Yes, absolutely.
And here again, as my show, it's important that we took something that was theatrical but had a real purpose and a real message, And we talked about it on the show. We had that, and some of the people involved with that show on this program. So
yes, Emma Palzia Ray.
Yes.
She was a former member, founding member of Emerson Theater Collaborative. Yeah. So what the work that they do there is so needed, and we need to continue to support those efforts as individuals in the community.
Right, and using the arts to take a very strong message about helping women in that, and women and children in,
Yes.
in these particular situations.
And let us not forget men too, because there are
that's
men
true. Yes,
that
yes.
are battered, and we need to recognize
Sure,
that
and
as
elderly
women.
who are abused by even their own children. Yes,
Yes, absolutely.
That's
and
true.
we need to be recognized for that and understand that that is a very important thing that we all need to understand.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
it should not happen on either side.
Yes, absolutely. So, Glenn, thinking about your other activities for the rest of the year, that's your first spring activity, right?
Yes, that's my first. And so for April of 2015, we have a gentleman named James C. Ferguson coming in,
Okay.
another Emersonian.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm so excited. He's a comedy writer. He's a playwright. He's a screenwriter. He's based out of Massachusetts now, but was based out of LA. And I'm so excited to be working on a piece from him called Snowbound.
Okay.
And so we're going to begin that initial process of a reading in April. It's actually April 11th and 12th for 2 days, and we want the community to come out and see that because we need the community feedback.
All right.
So we take that process, the beginning stages of doing a production, we start with a reading.
Right.
And we flush out all those things that don't need to be part of that particular piece. And so we start that process in April with James, and we are excited because we're going to do 2 of his works this year. And the other one is King Arthur in Contemporary Connecticut. So that is really going to be something.
It's obviously for all of us a takeoff, obviously, on Mark Twain's
Yes.
Connecticut Yankee. Yes.
Yes, and it's my hope, again, to continue to collaborate. And so we're hoping that we'd like to bring the Mark Twain House in on that.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
as a collaboration. So we're going to be talking about that in the near future. But those are the 2 works this year that we're going to be working on with him. And
Tell us a little bit about Snowbound. What can we look forward to for this reading? What are we going to anticipate?
it's 3 characters living life, and they're in their 20s. And so the beginning process, and we all know what it's like to be in our 20s. We've all been there.
Right.
And so relationships. It's so important, relationships and how we deal with one another.
Right.
Whether that be love relationships or just friendships and people and family. And so that starts us out for April.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
All
and then we hopefully we'll have we have a resident playwright named Lisa Giordano,
Oh, okay.
and she is working on a piece called Zora,
All right.
about the life of Zora Neale Hurston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that is also coming down the pike as a reading, and so we're getting that, and then we are collaborating with Real Artways in Hartford
Oh.
on Our Farther. That's coming back for a reading to Hartford.
Oh, okay. I've been to Real Artways. It's an interesting place.
Yes, it is.
Definitely a little mixture of painting and movies and a little
Yeah.
cafe.
Absolutely.
So
I'm
yes.
so excited.
So that'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
And it's really good that you have your tentacles out there and the other, because Connecticut and Rhode Island, we have all of these little groups. And it's great that you have the opportunity to collaborate. The Mark Twain House, of course, is not a little group, but but not everybody is aware of it.
This is true.
And they put on some really interesting performances during the course of the year.
Yes.
I even had my youngest, who's now 31, when she was a kid at the Hart School.
Yes, Hart School of Music.
Yes, the pre-college Hart School. When she was a kid, she actually got an opportunity to play the cello in the Mark Twain House, and that's what they do. They send out young musicians to sit there and just have background music, and so it was a great opportunity because I think it was something like Mark Twain Days, and people are dressed up in the contemporary clothing of that day.
Yes.
So so that's interesting. So Mark Twain House actually, as I remember it, has some kind of its tentacles out there to the community. So this should be an interesting thing.
Harriet, they have, for us, for the Emerson Theater Collaborative, we did, I opened for their Hateful Things exhibit as Harriet Tubman in 2013 in March. And that was an amazing experience for me, not only as a performer, but as a community member, to be able to be in that space with them and perform this piece, which is written by Lisa Giordano. It's called Harriet Tubman's Dream. And so the privilege that we have had as a company to collaborate with other people, not only arts, but other businesses as well, and community partners, it's just been extraordinary for us. And being able to reach out and give back to the community in so many different ways. And so we're thankful that we're able to collaborate with our community in and of itself in Southeastern Connecticut, but also outside of Southeastern Connecticut.
Sure, beyond, absolutely.
You know, because what we do as a whole really reaches far beyond what the immediate area is. We impact so many different people in so many different areas. And so for me, when I'm able to do a show, we did Jacques Lamar, who is the member of Mark Twain House, we did a play called Gray Matters for him. And we took that to New York City.
Oh, okay.
And we brought it back here to Mystic. But the important part is that we allowed our youth to be a part of that. And we took them to New York City, we got an apartment, we did all of those things so they could have a New York City experience.
Wow.
And
where
that is
did
really,
you actually perform did you actually do a performance?
Yeah, we did a couple of performances at the Abington Theater Complex in New York City.
Okay.
And we also did it here at the Mystic Arts Center.
Okay.
And we did it in Hartford at the Charter Oak Cultural Center.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Interesting.
So that was 2010. And we have come a long way since then, but our message continues to evolve and the projects in which we do. And the messages that we put out are really about life and living in people and being open to accept all people.
Right, right.
You know, it is so important that we recognize that as people, that no one is perfect. And we all have something to bring to the table.
Right.
And so through the arts, we allow our kids to come in and create that, and which is important to them.
Right.
And to sit and watch them shine on their day. You know, it's so, it makes me speechless.
I know that you take the issues of the day and you incorporate them into your theatrical company and try to present those kinds of messages. And of course, we're living in, I'd say, really volatile times.
Yes.
It's been within the country, outside of the country, in the world itself. Are there some messages in particular that you want to pick up on during 2015? That, you know, given all the craziness that we've experienced just as human beings in the last 12 months have been incredibly crazy.
I mean, I really want people to know how important family really is. And I'm not just talking about our immediate families. I am talking about your neighbor. I'm talking about your teacher. I'm talking about your fireman, your policeman. All the people that you come in contact with really are your family. And we're all connected, whether we realize that or not.
Right.
We are all connected. And so knowing who your neighbor is, saying hello to your neighbor. If you're walking on the street, say hello. Shock somebody.
Right, right.
You know, people are not used to people saying anything. We need to say and do more. And so this year, our message is, as always, family. And being who you are meant to be.
Right.
Everybody is meant to be someone, and we are someone. And so who you are is so important, and the value of who you are is important. So
we take Mrs. Clinton's adage about it takes a village to raise a child to a theatrical level.
Absolutely. I mean, we grew up, I know I grew up in a neighborhood where the neighbors looked after everybody's kids. You know, it's so important that we look after each other and we value that. And so this year, it is about people, it is about family, it is about valuing each other. Everybody is of value. And so that is our season this year. I'm excited because there's so much coming down. There is a play called The True Nature of All Being that's written by Lisa Giordano. And it sort of takes
writer?
Yes, it sort of takes a little turn about the environment.
Oh, okay.
And it has an all-Asian cast. And it is something I feel that is really important for us to continue to understand about our environment. Wow. And how important that is in the large scheme of everything.
Sure, especially living on the coast, boy.
On the
absolutely.
coast, there's changes that are happening in our world, and we need to
Sure.
understand those changes and what we as human beings are doing to make those changes come about.
Can you give us a little bit more hints about what's in there? It's very tantalizing.
I know it is, but they're
Yeah.
going to have to.
Oh, you have to
I'm going
wait.
to leak. I'm going to leak a
Okay.
little bit.
All right.
But I think it's important that we look at that and look at the spaces in which we live in our environment, and Mother Nature,
Right.
and how important she is to Mother Earth as a whole.
You probably may remember I did a documentary about the destruction of Musquamaca Beach after
Yes.
Storm Sandy. So believe me, yes,
Absolutely.
I'm acutely aware of Mother Nature and the fact that I live in Westerly, not too far from the beach, but that we are so absolutely. It's crucial that we take good respect for that, because
Absolutely. I respect Mother Nature, and I love
because
Mother Nature.
climate change is here. Our oceans are getting warmer. We've had a crazy winter so far. We thought it was going to be tons of snow so far.
Yeah, but
Not too bad.
I say for Mother Nature, respect her.
Absolutely.
She is a powerful force, and we need to recognize that and not take her for granted. So I'm excited about what our season entails for
Right.
2015 because
yes.
it really spans the gamut of our lives.
Sure, it does.
It's family relationships, environment, our children, and how important they truly are to everything, because they are our future.
Right, right.
And we need to make sure that we are doing everything we possibly can do to make their lives simple. And meaning lots of love and understanding and compassion for them as well as each other. And teaching them that people are of value.
Right, and using theater as as one medium to be able to
Yes.
present this. So you bring them in, and there's nothing wrong with giving people a message as part of the theatrical experience.
No, it is important. People give messages about things all the time.
And they're not always the good ones.
Right, but theater is one venue.
Yes, very, very important, absolutely.
It is so vital that our kids have arts and music in our schools, and how important those things are
Sure.
for education and life and living and life skills.
Exactly.
And parents being involved in their child's life, helping them to nurture them and finding those gifts in which their children have and nurturing those gifts, because those are the things that make the human being and enhance the human condition for the better.
So beside the summer camp, is there any other opportunities that young people could have with their involvement with your theatrical?
Oh, absolutely. We invite kids in pretty much every one of our productions.
Okay,
so
as
if they
actors?
want to come, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
If they want to come and do the annual Zora Neale Hurston reading, absolutely, we welcome that.
oh.
And we really want our youth to be part of that annual event every year.
So you basically take her works and then just divide them into minutes and
Yes, and we read them, and we pay homage to her, because she was such an important figure, for women and women writers and our history, and we want to make sure that we
Can you give the audience some examples of some work that after they hear this, they could go to the library or go to a bookstore or go to Amazon and.
One of her famous, Their Eyes Were Watching God.
Okay.
Of Mules and Men is another one. There are so many out there.
And she was a novelist?
She was, and she was also a playwright,
too.
I
was going to say that.
Yes, and you know what? She was a force to be reckoned with.
And when did she live, actually?
She died in the 60s.
Okay.
So, the early 60s.
Was she part of the Harlem Renaissance?
She was a major
figure
in the Harlem Renaissance, and she really defined what I think women writers could and should be. Expressing how important it is, her view.
Right.
And she really lived who she was. She didn't allow the other outside influences to damper on that and on her spirit, because she was raised in a town, Eatonville, Florida, an all-black community.
Okay.
So for her, that was life. And I love that about her and her works, because it's all infused through her works, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful for her family that come every year.
Yes, that's pretty remarkable.
We get to feel in her history, and we get to see her history
Sure.
in life
Right.
with them, and sharing it with them.
How did you get interested in her writing? Was it from school, or how did it happen to you, for you?
I read about it in school, but Lisa Giordano was really the driving force for this annual Zora Neale Hurston reading, because she is an amazing writer. And so she brought that forward to the board and said, hey, we ought to do this.
Oh, okay.
And I said, that really sounds like a wonderful idea. And so she led that, that project, and now it's in its third year.
Right.
Lucy, she teaches at Manchester Community College.
Okay.
And so she's local, which is really nice, and the family is local.
Yes.
And they've been great supporters of what we as a company have done.
So if you have people in the audience who would like to read, they should just get in contact through your website, or
they can check out our website.
Right.
They can go online and check out Zora Neale Hurston.
Okay.
There's a lot of work out there from her, and it's important that we read it. I think everybody should be reading her works, because what she talks about in life and living, and the real relationships that women have had, and the woman's journey, through those relationships. When you read Their Eyes Are Watching God, Janie is that major character, and how she lives her life is important, and how we read those works is important. And so we want to share those with the community, and so that they understand about Zora Neale Hurston, and that her history is not lost.
Right, right.
Because
and it's
she
just
was
as
so
relevant
important.
today as she
Absolutely.
was. She died in 1960s?
She died in the 60s.
Yeah, so
early
my God,
60s.
70 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
something like that.
I think what she had to say in her message about life and how important it is so important for us to be reading.
And how many hours do you actually do this reading?
It's for 1 hour.
1 hour, okay.
We do 1 hour
so
reading.
So you really do a compressed reading do you take just little pieces from here and there? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
we take little pieces, and we have gingerbread. I'm so excited about that. And we really focus on her. And we find that when we're doing that, and we're in the moment, and we're in fellowship with that,
right.
I feel like she's there with us.
I see.
And
so people would read like 5 minutes. Is that?
About 5 minutes of many of her
And you're still
works.
looking for people to do the reading with you?
Oh, sure.
Oh, all right.
Absolutely.
All right. So people should get in contact with them.
They can call me.
Oh, yes. Put back the telephone number
Yes,
there.
absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
They can
Here's a
call
woman
me.
who lets out her phone number, right?
Absolutely.
860-705-9711.
Yeah.
So if you want to be part of the show, you should give a call, and if not, just be in the audience.
Yes.
And of course, before they should do a little bit of their homework, so they should go and be a little bit familiar with the writer.
They should.
Yes,
But those that are not, when you come and you sit
You'll become
amongst the family, you will become part of that, and you'll become familiar with her works and how important she really was.
Now, it's funny because when you first mentioned her, you mentioned it if it wasn't for Alice Walker. So if you wanted to share it, because I have read Alice Walker's stuff.
The Color Purple.
Yes, which is going to be on Broadway.
I mean, it's just, you can't mistake beauty like that, because Alice Walker, what another amazing writer. I love The Color Purple.
Right, and it is coming to Broadway.
And so for us to go out there and read these great works of these great women writers of our time before they're lost, we never want them to be lost.
Right.
And like I said, if it had not been for Alice Walker researching and, coming upon her grave and those type of things, they would be lost.
It is true. Sometimes it is other writers who bring to our attention.
Absolutely.
Sometimes writers who have been forgotten, and there are some brilliant writers that are sometimes neglected.
Absolutely.
And it takes a champion to get it out there to the public's attention again.
And Alice Walker is truly one of
That's
those
another
women.
person that people should read, and so you'll have to do something about from Alice Walker's work.
Yeah, let's think about that one.
Yeah, you're good at that. You take something and you make something theatrical out of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's theater is such a viable way for us to express ourselves.
Yes.
And it's a safe environment for us to express ourselves. I mean, we talk about the First Amendment, and freedom of speech, and how important that is for everybody to be able to express who they are in love.
Right.
For whatever it is they do as their gift. And everybody has a gift. And so for me, I've been blessed to be able to do theater and to teach and, I really enjoy what I do.
Have you been interested in the theater since you were a kid?
I think I started at the age of 12.
Oh, in performances?
Knowing that I wanted to do that, and what it was for me, what I enjoyed about being 12, the imagination. I still have those imaginations. It's a great thing, but at 12 you could have an imagination and it could be free. And I really enjoy having an imagination that is free. Our kids have a free imagination.
Right.
They're not clouded by all the other outside influences.
Sure.
And so when I was 12, I think that was really the turning point for me of realizing that there's something here that I'm enjoying. And so when I got to high school, I did my first, theater performance, and I think the rest is history. I mean, I even took some time off from theater and life and living, as I call it, to, join the military.
Oh, okay.
And so I did that, which is probably, I say for me, it's probably one of my greatest things outside of having children is, serving my country and being able to do the things that, I'm able to do.
Having said that, is there something that you're thinking maybe you'll do, if not in 2015, beyond, about some of the things that have happened to our poor vets who come home and have been so sorely neglected by the very government that sent them out to fight and die for us?
We have some things coming down the pike, but I think it's coming together into fruition. But I think we need to be mindful of what we as a people are doing to help our veterans. It's, our government are still people. And we as community members and family, we need to be helping that to facilitate that and get them the help that they truly need. We cannot neglect them.
Right,
because they have, walked that line of serving and providing and protecting that which we feel is important, to our country as a whole. And I am thankful for each and every veteran that has served.
The only reason I say that is because I know that theater is also kind of a part of therapy, and so for some people, it's an opportunity, especially men. They don't like to cry, in group sessions or anything like that. But to be part of something like a theater group would give them an opportunity to, vent some of their anger and their frustrations. So I was just curious because I'm going to start my next documentary, my first one being on Mother Nature, and my new one is going to be on using animals to do therapy. And the two groups that I'm most interested in is vets.
Yes.
And the second group I'm interested in is children who may have some autism or emotional problems, and how animals, whether they be dogs or horses or birds or chimpanzees or, whatever, can be very effective for people children who don't necessarily know how to express themselves, and vets who may be holding back so much emotion. But give them a dog, give them a horse, give them some other kind of animal, and then they're able to kind of relate. Well, the other part of it is that most of the animals give you unconditional
love. Absolutely.
You can, and so they lick you, they kiss you, they put their paw around you. The horses probably just...
They don't judge you.
Yes, yes. So that's my newest thing, is thinking about these kinds of groups and how animals can really make a difference. So that's why I'm curious about some things like that, because I know that theater, like art, artwork, and even singing, things like that, can be a way for people who have all these deeply suppressed emotions, and some very tough ones, to give them an outlet for expressing that in a controlled
environment,
and safe
in a safe environment. Yeah, we are working on a couple of things, and I'll just give you the title.
Yes.
It's called Speaking Our Peace, and that is PEACE. Speaking Our Peace. And so it'll be a compilation of things that, about veterans and their journey and their life, and how important their voice is to our country. And that we as people should not forget what they have done.
Right.
Because what they have done is something that others have not done.
And very few people lately have done. I mean, it's a certain small core of people that have been impacted by the crazy wars that we've been in of late. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, Vietnam, which is my day, aging myself, of course. You know, young men went because they had no choice. They were drafted, so you went, or you went to Canada, or you know, you did something else. But in much more modern times, military service is completely voluntary.
And I'm very proud of my men and women, you know, who have served and who are continuing to serve. Because it is because of them that we have the freedoms that we have. And we should not take those freedoms for granted.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so we need to be proactive in helping them get on their feet when they come back.
Right, and of course we live in a community where there's a lot of military.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we have the submarine base, we have the Coast Guard Academy, although the Coast Guard Academy is now in Homeland Security instead of DOD, but you know, it's still military.
Change is change.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Change is change.
Exactly. So, I mean, you do a lot of serious stuff, but I know you have some fun stuff in there too.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I do dramas, I do comedy, we do musicals on occasion, but I like to do stuff that moves people and that affects the human condition for the better.
Right.
And so, like I said, we just finished Our Farther, and that's now out there. It's going to Cincinnati for a reading in March, too. So, and I like the fact that we can do work that people come and they see and they experience, and that it moves them into action.
Right.
To do something that's important. And it's not about them. They make it about what it's really about, somebody else. And asking, how can I help you? Something
How
as
can I make
simple.
change, perhaps, because we do need some changes.
Yeah,
certainly.
we need a lot of changes in this country. And I
Right.
think, you know, we're all responsible to help make those things happen. No one's exempt from that.
Right, right.
And I think it's important that we show our children the value of that in their lifetime.
You know, well, the other thing I want to show people is because this group has received your group has received a lot of great attention. So this is a magazine called Ink. I don't know how, there we go.
Yeah.
And so this is a beautiful glossy magazine, and I don't know, which edition is this?
That's
is
the December
December
2014.
2014. I mean, you can probably still find it
Yeah,
somewhere.
the commemorative edition.
Yes, and inside here is this group, the Emerson Theater Collaborative.
6 pages of great stuff. And
Exactly.
I am thankful for Rona Mann, because Rona called me and she said, you know, she said, I heard about your group. She said, but I don't know much about it. And so I sat with her one day and
You can get a look at this.
you know,
Yep.
that was a musical called The Big Bank. We did in 2011, an original musical. So that was very timely in terms of economic conditions.
Right, in the middle of the
So-
Great Recession, right?
Yeah, and
Right,
so
and here's some more.
and on the right side there, excuse me, the left side is the Zora, Neale, Hurston clan. And that was the reading from last year.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so Edward's there and Valerie and Lucy. And so those were the readers for last year, and we had such an amazing time. And below that, we do a suicide prevention program
Yes,
called
I
the
know
I Am
that.
Worthy Project, helping adults and youth migrate through that journey. And Crystal Livingston, an amazing singer, local singer, helped us out with that. So you get to see here.
A good compilation in terms of the variety
Right.
of what you're talking about, because again, it's a relatively small group and a relatively new group, and yet it's been able to have this incredible impact. I mean, here's a group that right here in town brings their stuff to New York City and has it performed in the Big Apple. So
I'm fortunate to be able to do those things. Our board is really wonderful.
check
in
it
that
out again.
respect.
There it is, the December 2014 issue of Ink magazine. If you want to get a nice color portrait of all of the actors and some of the great performances that they have actually accomplished. That is, that does it help to be associated with the college? I mean, does Emerson College get you into finding alums some places in other parts of the country that help to open doors for you?
Emerson has really, it's been great to be an alumni of Emerson College, because I think again, I call it family. And so I'm able to tap into, the Emerson Mafia, which is really, a student alumni group on social media.
Okay, they call themselves the Emerson and Mafia?
Yeah, Emerson Mafia, it's really great. And so I can tap that for actors, I can, look at my alumni and I can put the word out through them. And Facebook, as much as Facebook is Facebook, it serves a purpose. It's a necessary evil, sometimes I call it, because it's, it's a place for you to put information out there that you need to get out there quickly. And so, but Emerson College is a place where I can, get the word out of what I need. And, having the alumni support is so amazing.
Now, Emerson is in or outside, right outside Boston?
It's in Boston.
It's in Boston.
It's right in the heart of Boston Common.
Okay. And,
Yeah.
and is it known for its theater department? Is that it?
Yeah, it's known for its theater. It's known for its communications. It is just known for all of the stuff that it's, it's creating. The Emerson College students are amazing, amazingly gifted in the stuff that they're doing, and putting out there is wonderful stuff.
Do you ever get interns from the college come and help you with your productions?
I did, and yeah, absolutely. Well, I did 2012, my summer program. Ashley Drew, Emerson alumni, class of 2012, came and did my summer program. And she also worked on court martial at Fort Devens as our stage manager. So it's really important for me as an Emerson alumni to give back in that respect. Not only do I give back of my, my monetary things to Emerson to help the other students that are coming through, but, helping students that are coming out of that environment into the world, to put their stamp on the world. So if I can just do my little part to help someone get a stepping stone.
Are you from around this neighborhood?
I'm originally from Massachusetts.
Oh,
so
okay.
I grew up in Massachusetts. From age of 5, and that was my journey. And Emerson provided me with an amazing education, and able to communicate what I needed to do and help me, navigate the world. And so I'm thankful for that education. I'm thankful for my alumni, friends, and family that I can always tap into when I need something, because they're very supportive.
And does the college know, I'm sure it does, that you use their name in terms of the theater company's name?
Yeah, they do.
And they obviously don't mind at all.
Yeah, I mean, I've had it for 7 years, and they really, they're supportive of their alumni and what they do, as much as they can be as an institution, and I think that's important.
Sure.
I think anyone that goes to college would love to have their institution be supportive of their alumni and what they do, and I think the alumni as a whole should be giving back to the institution in which they got their education from, so I think that's really important. And so I'm grateful that I'm able to give back to Emerson, not only monetarily, but also, through the students, and being able to sit on the alumni board.
Okay.
For me, that's a privilege.
Sure.
And I don't take that lightly. And so whatever I can do, in terms of Emerson, and, I'm willing to do that because of what they've done for me.
Oh, that's wonderful, a wonderful tribute. And when you got this theater company, are you one of the founding members?
I am.
And so 7 years ago you started this theater company.
Yes.
What was your expectations then?
I don't know if I had expectations. I just knew that I wanted to do something that could affect the human condition as it was then, and to put out work that I know that I would be proud of, and the other people would come and see and take something back with them to change whatever it is in their life that needed changing. And for me, it's truly about change, and we need to learn to embrace change when it comes. It's not easy. Nothing ever is easy.
No, nothing worth doing is easy.
And so, but when we embrace change, it makes it a little better to comprehend and to understand that it's consistent, it's constant. And so we did Doubt as our opening production, and the Union Baptist Church allowed us to do it there. Our senior minister, Reverend Stacy Emerson, was really the best person I could have taken it to and said, this is what I'd like to do to bring awareness to what we're doing and how important it is. And she said yes. And so I'm forever grateful for her because of that. And so that was our beginning.
And tell the audience a little bit about what I assume to be, I've seen the movie Doubt. Is that what?
Yeah. John Patrick Shanley, another great playwright. That for us was something that I really wanted to do. And for me, it was the beginning of our company because I had went on an audition. And if they read the article in Inc. magazine, they'll understand what I'm talking about. But I went on an audition, and the women told me essentially that what an actor had to give in an audition wasn't good enough. It had to be the director who told you exactly how they wanted you to play that character. And something in that did not sit right with me. I want my actors to be able to create whatever it is they need to create to make it real. And that's bringing parts of themselves, parts of other things, and creating. Actors need to be actors. And directors need to be directors. I don't want my actors to be puppets.
Right.
I want them to be free to express and create the character in which they need to create in order to get the message that needs to come across. And I want it to be real.
So no dictators for directors. And you are a director as well.
am.
Yes, yes. So you wear all the hats.
I like hats.
Yeah. As playwright too.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah, I don't do
yes.
much of that, but
acting, directing.
I perform, and I love that, and I produce, and I really love that. It's something that I didn't think, fit my makeup, but I found that it did.
Okay.
Because I'm able to do it, and I do it with such support from my community. And so that in and of itself says a lot for what we do, our community.
How do you choose a piece? I mean, there's lots of stuff out there.
I get a lot of things come across my desk.
Okay, new stuff.
Yeah, I get a lot of stuff that comes across my desk. I get a lot of original works from different playwrights. It has to meet our vision.
Okay.
And that's producing, and developing innovative theater with youth, with an emphasis on diversity, with emerging and professional actors.
Okay.
That's our vision. And so whatever comes across my desk has to look at that vision. Does it affect our youth? Does it contain diversity? And that's diversity of all walks of life, okay? Does it speak on the message of people and the human condition as it lays its foundation?
So would you say half your stuff is original and half of it is already created plays and pieces?
A lot of our stuff is original works. Yeah, we don't do a whole lot of stuff that's been pre-written. We do a lot of original works, and hence James Ferguson, just another great playwright. Bob Gottfried, Emersonian comedian, Last Comic Standing, just an amazing comedic writer.
So if we have some audience members who believe themselves to be emerging playwrights, can they send their manuscripts?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. I
They can
welcome
send
that.
the manuscripts to you.
Yes, I'll give the address.
Yes, what's the address? Send those magazines.
P.O. Box 633, Mystic, Connecticut 06355. They can put it right in the mail, and
That's a post office box for
Yes.
the Emerson Theater Collaborative.
Yeah.
And if you can't remember that, just go to the website or
Absolutely.
and
Email me.
And then
Put it in an email.
Okay, and then they can send their works. Typically, what are you looking at? A work of about 60 minutes or less?
It could be 60 minutes. It could be 2 hours.
Okay, all right.
Because we're going to do a reading of it,
Okay.
first, and flush out all those great things, and to help the piece along, because that's our process. We do take readings, and we take them, and we flush that stuff out, and we get it ready for production.
Right, right.
So I love that process.
And it takes, what'd you say, at least a year, sometimes 2 or 3 years before you actually go from the playwright providing you a piece of material till it's actually produced?
The last one, it took me about a year,
Okay.
a year and a half from readings to production.
Right.
So, but normally sometimes it could be a year,
Okay.
depending on the piece.
And how long it is and how detailed it is and
Right.
stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah, but I welcome people that write, to send their stuff, because we do look at a lot of things and we do produce a lot of work.
Great. That's a great opportunity. You hear that, all those playwrights out there?
Absolutely.
Come on. Here's an opportunity to actually have your voice heard.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
And
don't send
my
it to me,
youth.
send it to them. Absolutely.
My
yes.
youth that write, absolutely.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. So again, tell us, because we're just about going to come to the conclusion. So what's a couple of things that our audience really needs to remember in the next couple of months that's coming from your wonderful organization?
This annual Zora Hurston reading.
Okay,
March
everybody
7th.
get out there. Yes.
And Snowbound, which is April 11th and 12th.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Zora piece that's coming, April 17th and 18th. And we have Our Farther, that's going to be a collaboration with the Real Artways.
Mm-hmm.
And we have just been able to collaborate with the Farmington Chorale. Both Emma and I will be doing our Harriet Squared
Oh, okay.
for their celebration.
Oh.
And so that'll be in Farmington in May.
Wow.
And so May 1st and 3rd is when we'll be doing that down that neck of the woods. So
Okay.
again, collaboration is so important. And our kids' summer program is coming up, and I'm urging my community to come out and support that.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're interested in donating to Emerson Theater Collaborative, please, by all means. Our kids
Right,
that come in the
yes.
summer really need the scholarship support to
You're
come for
a
6 weeks.
recognized nonprofit, so there's a
Right.
tax deduction for folks.
Absolutely. And
So here's what I think people should do. First of all, they should recognize this wonderful little organization that does tremendous amount of fabulous artistic work, and also provides our audiences with a wonderful message, which is we just continue to need that kind of stuff. So I urge you to go online and see that their website. Definitely take in a March, an April, a May performance of whatever kind that they're offering. Take a look at it, see what kind of work they do, and then if you are a budding playwright out there, you know what to do. Send her an email, just get onto the website, send her an email, and talk about what it is that you really want to do, so that I will maybe be able to see a performance of yours in another year or so.
Absolutely.
So I want to take this opportunity to really thank you for coming.
Thank you, Harriet. I appreciate it.
And again, Emerson Theatrical, it's theater.
Emerson
Theater
Theater
Collaborative. And collaborative with a capital C, because this is a group that does a great deal of collaboration with all of lots of community partners, famous and not so famous.
Absolutely.
So it was a pleasure to have you. And again, get online and catch out their website, and from that you'll be able to pick out some things that you definitely should participate in. And again, I want to thank also the people behind the screens here in the glass.
Yes, thank you.
For making not only the show possible, but also now facing the 21st century. We've discovered YouTube, and now some of our shows can be seen anywhere, any place in the world. All you have to do is get online and figure out where we are. And I also just I'm going to point to it, but communitycultureshowcase.weebly.com, that is my little website, and you can catch my shows as well on that little website. I have my YouTube shows on there, and you can, again, see them anytime, any place, anywhere. Thank you for coming. We look forward to seeing you again, and much, much success to your group.
Thank you.
This is Harriet Grayson, and I thank my audience, and I'm going to have wonderful guests all for 2015. And if you have a group out there that you think could charm us and inform us and maybe perform for us, by all means, do give me an email. Send to graysonharriet@gmail.com. Thank you again.